Hey guys, so I know my lighting might look different because it is 7:30 in the morning and I usually never film this early, so the sun is rising. Well, it's been risen, but it's literally right at my window, so it may look a little warm, but that's alright. I did a live on Instagram the other day and I was just kind of asking you guys questions, what you wanted to see and stuff like that. So whenever I upload a tutorial, and my voice is still not awake, but whenever I upload a tutorial, like a makeup look, I usually only do my eyes and lips and sometimes like my blush and highlight on camera. So I decided that every like month or two, I'm just gonna throw in a new like updated or current favorite foundation routine so you guys can refer back to that to see kind of what I did. Now of course like the blush colors and bronzer that I use will always be different, but I'll list it down in the description box of the like eye look. But I just want to kind of keep this going so you guys can see what I've currently been liking to do. So I have found a new step and I feel like this has made my makeup look so flawless. But I've already cleansed, moisturized, sunscreen, everything. But I have started to take some MAC Fix Plus, just the original, and I give myself a nice spritz of that. Kind of let that sit in for just a second. And then the next thing that I do, which I could probably use the Urban Decay All Nighter too over the top of this, you know, just for like longevity of the day, but this has been working so far for like 12 hours and my skin looks amazing, except for like around my mouth because I talk a lot, smile a lot, eat, wipe off lips, like, you know, lipstick, lip liner, stuff like that. So next, I'm going to take some of the MAC Strobe Cream in Silverlite. They have lots of different shades, but this is the one that I bought. And I started doing this because my friend Megan Emerson, she is Megan Lee. I talk about her quite often. But she is amazing. You guys should follow her on Instagram. I will leave her channel, or not her channel, she doesn't do YouTube anymore, but I'll leave her Instagram handle down in the description box. She lives in Arizona and she was talking about a another Arizonian named Courtney Montez, and she is stunning. Like, they're both beautiful. They inspire me so much for some reason. Like, they just make me want to put makeup on when I see them. Just like, I don't know, I love their aesthetic. So they've been doing this and it just, oh my gosh, I can't stop doing it. And that stuff smells so good. But for primer, I have been taking the Hourglass Original Mineral Veil. This is super good. My makeup's been staying on 12 hours, looking flawless with this. So I'm going to use that today. Also the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. The Sisley Primer is great. But this has been my go-to lately. And I used to use this years ago. So basically, anytime I wear foundation, I'm going to have the Estee Lauder Double Wear and Sandwin W2 mixed in. I just love it with everything. Like oil control, I'm only on my chin, but I still just love the way it makes my makeup look. Like this is like one of the most long wearing foundations, so I mix it with everything, literally. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys some of my favorite foundations. The Dior Forever in the shade 21. The new Lawless foundation in the shade Sahara. That's what I'm going to use today. This is so good. And then I'm going to use, or I have used, the Sheer Glow from NARS in the shade Stromboli, so medium 3. So all these I will mix together, the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I mean, I have True Match in here, L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. I need to try the Wet n Wild Photo Focus because I know one of you guys asked me to do that. And I also need to try this Maybelline 24 Hour. But today I'm going to show you guys what I've currently been doing, and that's the Lawless. Now, I did have a spray tan, and I bought this when I had a spray tan. It's not super dark, like it's not even dark enough for me when I do have a spray tan. But today, because my chest is always lighter than the rest of my body, I have actually mixed in some of the new Drunk Elephant Anti-Pollution Sunshine Serum. I believe that's exactly what it's called. And you mix it with your lotion, you can use moisturizer on your face, like, and it just makes you kind of bronzy and like gives you like a really pretty like glow. So I mixed that in my lotion on my chest and my arms today so that my foundations would match better. And I'm loving it so far. So I'll mix these together, zoom you in a little bit, and I'll take the Estee Lauder Double Wear first. It doesn't really matter, but I will just mix them on the back of my hand. And on my live, I was using the same combination, and you guys were like, you know that Estee Lauder makes a pump for Double Wear, right? And I do know that. I actually bought one of the MAC pumps because it fits the Estee Lauder. And I felt like the formula is totally different when I put it on my face, so I might be crazy, but I'll just keep dumping out the back of my hand on mine. So I just use like 1 pump of the Lawless and that much of the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I always have some left over, but I just mix them together. And the Lawless foundation, by the way, because I know a lot of people haven't really talked about this, I believe on the Sephora website it says it's like a demi-matte finish, or matte finish, something like that, but it is very natural looking. It actually smells like oranges, like a little bit kind of orange vanilla scent, and it's not really like fake smelling. It smells really, really good, but I know some people are weird about smells. I saw it on Trend Mood's Instagram stories, and that's what made me buy it. I love Sophie, but dotting it on my face, I always just dot my foundation everywhere. Just so when I take my brush or sponge, whatever I use to apply it, which is usually a brush, it doesn't pick up so much product. So that's what I like to do, is just kind of go ahead and blend it out myself. Or maybe I'd put more on there than I thought. There's not much on my hand. I'm gonna have to just dip my brush directly into it. And then I'm going to use the Huda Beauty foundation brush right here to apply it. I love this brush. So good. I'll drag it down onto my neck because I didn't put the Sunshine Serum on my neck, only on my chest. And I'm just going to blend that all out, get it into my hairline. And I'll use what's left on my neck. Okay, so I do have a lighter coverage today. I have this old pimple that's clearing up. I've been using my Murad Age Spot corrector on it, so it'll be gone in a week or so, probably 2 weeks, say. But I love that stuff. I'll be talking about it in my skincare video, which I promise I'll film. I know I've been saying that for like years, literally, but it's time. So now that we have foundation on, I'm going to take my Real Technique sponge and just blend this out. Next, I'm going to start working with my under eye a little bit. This is the Tatcha Pearl Underlight Eye Treatment. This stuff is so, so good. I have the Moonlight shade, which is the lightest shade. They have 3, but it's like a moisturizer slash very minimal coverage concealer slash brightening treatment, like it says. So you guys know I used to be ride or die for the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, and I still love that stuff, but this is so good. So I put it on both my ring fingers and then just pat it onto my under eye. This is really good for like no makeup days with mascara and like a tinted moisturizer, which I don't ever do, but it would be amazing. If I'm going somewhere with no makeup on, I will put this on by itself because it just brightens up my eyes and it just, oh, it's so pretty. So now I'm going to take this LA Girl Concealer in the shade Toffee. I could probably go down a shade, and I did order some. That's a lighter shade, but I'm just going to use this to contour a little bit. So I'm just going to use a little bit there and then a little bit on my forehead. Like so. And then I'm going to take my damn sponge and blend everything out. Start with my cheeks first and just use, you know, pouncing motions to blend it out, trying to bring it back up into my hairline and back to my ear. And then just to blend it out so it looks really natural. I'll do the same on this side. I think Fawn is a step down from this. I googled swatches online. I put it in my cart, but I can't remember. So we'll see. But just see how it blends out so easily. It just looks so pretty. I love it. And I'm sure if you sprayed your sponge with like Urban Decay All-Nighter or your favorite setting spray, it would actually make it last even longer, but this is so good. I'm like, where has this been all my life? Maddie Bernard here on YouTube. I'm obsessed with her as well. But she uses this and she loves it, and I've watched her use it for so long, so I finally decided to order it. It sat in my drawer for like a week or two, and now that I've started using it, I can't stop. It's good. Now we will do concealer. I'm going to take the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral and apply this onto my under eye. I know I say this every time, but whenever I'm applying my concealer, I always take the applicator and go ahead and start blending it out, because just like with my foundation, when I pat it or dot it onto my face, whenever you go in with a brush or sponge, whatever you use, if you leave a heavy amount of product just sitting in one spot, it's going to absorb a lot of that product and end up adding more for more coverage, because the actual tool sucks it up. So I know Wayne Gosh just did a video on this and how people go out really far, because once you apply it and that much that has nowhere to be spread out to, my mind's not working right, so just bear with me. But he just did a video on that, but it worked for me. So like, he's just basically saying that when you blend your foundation, it spreads. So if you already have it all spread out over your face, it's going to have nowhere else to go. But I don't know. It doesn't bother me. And I'll also blend it up onto my eyelids to conceal that darkness and those veins, to kind of prep for eyeshadow. And I'll take what's left and just kind of spread that up in between my eyes. And then I'll bring it back right here just to make sure everything's blended. I don't have like a big harsh difference between the contour and the concealer. Another little tip that I picked up from Court Montez is this before baking. So she actually takes a little brush. She uses like a little kind of, I don't even know what you'd call that brush, but just a little brush. And she uses a powder to do like a light sweep of color underneath her, or not color, but just a light setting on her eye before she goes in with her product to bake. Just because if you do bake and you don't like to bake because you feel like it makes your under eye look really heavy, this is a really good step. So it just kind of creates a barrier in between your skin and that concealer and the powder you're about to put on, so that it doesn't look so thick and cakey. And she also waits to bake, so like she'll do other stuff on her face before she actually bakes. I haven't been doing that, but I have been using the powder. So I did go buy the powder that she used, the Matte Mineralized Skin Finish, and this is the shade Light Plus. But I don't really feel like you have to buy that powder specifically, so I'm trying it out again just to make sure I want to keep it or if I need to return it. Because the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder that I do bake with does the exact same thing. So I'm going to take a disposable cosmetic sponge and the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder in the shade 10 Fair Light. This powder is life, you guys. I'm not kidding. It is so good. I don't bake for very long, but this, like, you can actually feel how soft your skin is. It's bomb. And I would usually set down on my lid just to kind of prep for eyeshadows, because I always say this too, it's easier to blend eyeshadows over a powder base instead of a damp concealer. Some people do, but if you're a beginner, I would not recommend, because sometimes they can get really choppy. If you've done a good enough job blending your concealer, it will go on like a dream. You can blend eyeshadows right over it without it being set down, but I just wouldn't recommend if you're just starting out. So always set it down with a powder. Okay, and then I'm going to take the powder that is left in the cap of the brush using this EcoTools full powder brush, and I'll just kind of swirl that around in there and set the rest of my face. Now if you want more of like a luminosity, you can use the Lancome Absolute Pesh powder. You can use the Flower Beauty Satin for Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder. I hate this packaging. It just spills out whenever you open it up. But this powder is good. It's not as good as the Absolute powder, this one right here, but it is pretty. And I'll kind of show you guys, because I do this some days. But I'd actually take my damp sponge. Okay, and then I'll take this Charlotte Tilbury powder, dip my sponge into it. This is the shade number 2 medium, and this is the Airbrush Lawless Finish powder. Whew. And then I dipped into the Absolute Peach shade. But I'm gonna take a light little dusting of that onto the center of my forehead, and then I'll just kind of use what's left on the rest of my face, and then go in and blend everything out. Just makes you glowy. It looks really, really pretty. Now I will wipe this bakage off. I usually have by this point, but I'm not talking in a video. So just wipe off what's underneath my eyes. Make sure everything is dusted off, and I'll leave my chin bakage because I do get oily there. And then I'm going to take my Sonia Kashuk number 130 brush and this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I dip my brush just in the side of it. That way I have more control of where I'm going to apply it onto my face. So if you dip your whole brush in the center, you're going to get that whole bit of product on your face. So always just do it at an angle in the pan, so you know exactly where it's going, and you can always add more, but once it's there, it's hard to take it away. So just like this, just at an angle. You can tap off the excess if you want to be even more careful, but that just makes it so easy. Because right now, if you put the whole brush in there, you'd be getting like a huge bronzer line. So this makes it light. And then I'm using the same bronzer. This is just the original bronzer shade, not the light, not the Sun Kiss, not the deep bronzer, just the original. And then I'm gonna take this Luxie Nose Perfector brush 182 and contour the sides of my nose. Just do a little light sweep there. This brush has been a game changer. I used to take that same Sonia Kashuk brush and use what was left from bronzing my cheeks and just run that down the sides of my nose to contour my nose. And now if I try to do that, like I can't. Like this, it just, I hated this brush at first, I really did. But it really does make your nose look so, so good. And I'm sure you could find another brush like this that, you know, is the same shape and doesn't cost, like I think this was $20. I don't know, but the day I ordered it, the next day, I got an email that everything on the website was 50% off. And I had already bought this full price, so I'm not mad anymore. I like it enough to be okay with the amount that I paid for it, because it's not super expensive. But brushes these days, unless they're Morphe, they're pretty much more expensive than what they should be. So I'll take a sponge and just kind of blend that out. Because in the viewfinder it looks very, very heavy, but in person you can hardly tell. So just to make sure I don't look crazy, blend that out. And then to bronze the rest of my face, you can use any bronzer you want to. I've been loving the Hourglass ones to make me really glowy, but I've been using the number 7 in the shade Caramel. You say caramel, I say caramel. And I just take that my Tom Ford 05 brush and just do a light sweep of that to kind of bring out more of the bronziness from the LA Girl concealer we used to contour with. And then I will run that over my cheeks just to blend that in a little bit more. Same thing for my nose. For blush today, I'm going to take my Morphe E4 angled brush, and I haven't used my favorite Rose Dior blush in a while, the Milani. We will use that today. I used to use this like every single day. So I'm taking that onto the apples of my cheeks and then blending it back up into the bronzer. I do wear a lot of blush because I like it. And I could have added more coverage over that little pimple, but I'm not trying to be perfect. So I just leave it there because it'll be gone soon enough. And, you know, I have flaws too, so unless I just really wanted to cover it up, I usually don't. Okay, so we are blushed up, honey. And if you want to bake using that Maybelline Fit Me powder, you can, or a regular translucent powder, you can. I'm not gonna bake today, but I will take my chip bakeage off and just run that up along my contour and blush just to kind of clean everything up without making it too like chiseled and defined. Okay, so now I'll do my brows, finish the rest of my face, and then we will set. So to highlight, I'm going to take Fuego from Dose of Colors and the Desi and Katie collab. And I'm using my Morphe M501 to highlight. On the high points of my cheeks. I'm going to use the other side of this Luxie brush to get my nose and a little bit down the bridge. And then to set, and we will be done, I'm going to take the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And that's a lot, but my fan is blowing, so it all blows in different directions, so it's never guaranteed it's going to get my face. So, I mean, I could turn it off, but okay, I'm just going to take my sponge, press that into my skin. So that is basically it for my updated foundation routine, or current foundation routine. So I will be seeing you guys in all my eyeshadow tutorials, but if you want to know how to do my base, just refer back to this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.